There comes a moment in every man's life when the world grows quiet, not out of mercy, but out of neglect. You stand there carrying burdens no one can see, shouldering battles no one applauds, moving through days that feel like unmarked terrain. This is the private darkness you walk through, the place where your suffering is not dramatic, not loud, not recognized. It simply lives inside you like a stone you cannot set down. And yet, this is the battleground where everything that matters is forged. Musashi understood this long before he became a legend. As a young wanderer, he walked alone through villages that barely noticed him, slept under cold skies that offered no comfort, and carried fears that had no audience. His suffering was unseen, but it was not wasted. It formed the first thin plates of internal steel armor no one could admire, because no one knew it existed. That is the nature of the pain you carry. It does its work in secret. Imagine walking through a forest at dusk. Every shadow stretches toward you. Every sound hints at danger. You feel watched, hunted, judged. But with every step, something quiet shifts in you. You start to trust your footing more than your fear. You start to realize the forest is not your enemy. Your hesitation is. Suffering is like that dusk. It blinds you at first, then teaches you to see. Modern men fight different battles, silent pressures, invisible anxieties, responsibilities no one thanks them for. But the principle remains unchanged. Ancient warriors endured cold nights, hunger, uncertainty. Modern warriors endure doubt, betrayal, confusion. Both are crucibles. Both are teachers. And when you finally stop seeing suffering as punishment, you understand its true form. It is raw material, unshaped, unrefined, waiting for your hands. What weighs on you now is simply the beginning of your transformation. This is the darkness where armor begins. Pain does not arrive to end you. It arrives to expose what in you cannot survive the journey ahead. Musashi knew this every time he stepped into a duel. A man facing another man with steel in hand was never just fighting for victory. He was fighting for clarity. Fear rises, breath tightens, the world narrows. In that constriction, you meet yourself stripped of excuses, stripped of masks, stripped of softness. Suffering is that duel. It is the fire that heats the metal of your spirit and the blows that shape it. When a blade is forged, it is thrown into flames again and again. Each time the fire threatens to melt it, the hammer strikes, the sparks fly, and something stronger emerges. Weak metal breaks. True metal endures. The question is brutal, but simple. Which one are you becoming? You already know the modern equivalent. It's the rejection that makes your confidence bleed. The failure that humiliates you when no one is watching. The self-doubt that ambushes you at night. These are not gentle nudges. They are strikes of the hammer. They are tests that most men run from because they mistake discomfort for destruction. But the warrior mindset grows under pressure. When you stop fleeing the storm and choose to stand still inside it, something shifts. Your breathing deepens. Your thoughts settle. The pain doesn't vanish, but it loses the power to define you. This is masculine.com, not the absence of fear, but the refusal to bow to it. Musashi once wrote that a true warrior must be fluid in chaos. He did not mean pretending to be strong. He meant surviving the fire long enough to become strong. And you, standing where you stand, feeling what you feel, facing what you face, you are already in the furnace. The question is whether you let the flames refine you or consume you. When the fire burns away weakness, what remains is not hardness, but clarity. You become a man who knows himself. That is the beginning of true armor. There is a quiet turning point in every warrior's life, when suffering stops being something that happens to him and becomes something he learns from. Musashi reached this moment during his solitary wandering. Villages faded, companions thinned, and the world stopped giving him answers. But the silence did not break him. It shaped him. Suffering creates a strange kind of stillness. It strips away the noise of other people's expectations, the illusions of comfort, the endless distractions that keep you from hearing your own mind. In that barren, quiet, clarity begins to form, not suddenly, not dramatically, but the way mud settles in a river after you sit beside it long enough. Slowly, the water clears. Slowly, you begin to see. You've felt this before, even if you didn't recognize it. Those heavy nights when you couldn't count on anyone. Those mornings when you had to lift yourself because no hand reached for you. Those moments of emotional drought when the world withdrew warmth. These are not signs that life abandoned you. They are invitations to grow into the man you are meant to become. Modern society teaches dependency. It whispers that someone should save you, understand you, carry you. But warriors are not built in the hands of others. Warriors are built in the quiet hours when no one comes. Musashi did not wander because he was lost. He wandered because isolation reveals truth. When suffering becomes your teacher, it stops leaving scars. It leaves lessons. You learn where you are weak. You learn what you fear. You learn which thoughts are yours and which were planted by a world that never cared to see you clearly. This is the moment you become your own guide. Not because you want to, but because suffering has cleared the path. From here on, you walk differently. You see differently. You choose differently. This is the beginning of inner mastery. There is a kind of pain that doesn't scream, doesn't break, doesn't collapse. It lingers like winter air around the edges of your life, a coldness you can feel but cannot avoid. Most men spend their lives trying to escape it. They turn toward distractions, comforts, or anything that numbs the ache. But a warrior learns something different. The cold is not the enemy. The cold is the training ground. In the old traditions, samurai would stand in rivers during the heart of winter, letting icy water crash against their bodies, not for punishment, not for spectacle, for strength, for clarity. For the unshakable calm that comes from facing discomfort without retreat. This was the shaping of will. Pain functions the same way. It is a compass pointing toward the parts of you that are still fragile. When you resist it, it grows sharper. When you walk into it, something inside you solidifies. Think of holding a cold stone in your palm. At first, your hand trembles, your nerves scream, your body rejects the discomfort. But if you keep your grip steady, if you breathe through the shock, eventually the trembling stops. Your hand adjusts. Your mind adjusts. This is what embracing hardship does to your spirit. Your modern winters come in different forms. The discipline you avoid, the heartbreak that hollows you out, the loneliness that shadows your steps, the responsibilities that feel heavier each year. But the principle remains ancient. When you stop begging for warmth, when you face the cold directly, you discover a serenity that most never experience. Not the warm comfort of ease, the silent confidence of a man who no longer fears discomfort. Musashi thrived in loneliness because he understood that avoiding pain only multiplies it. A warrior who runs from the cold becomes brittle. A warrior who walks into it becomes unbreakable. You are not meant to fear the cold. You are meant to grow within it. The moment you stop resisting discomfort is the moment you reclaim your power. True armor is never seen. It is felt in the way a man speaks, the way he stands, the way he endures. Musashi knew this with a certainty few ever touch. He walked into battles with no ornate protection, no heavy plates to shield his body. His armor was internal, crafted from years of discipline, loss, and solitude. It was not metal that kept him alive. It was spirit. Suffering acts as molten iron poured over the raw form of your character. At first it burns, it overwhelms, it threatens to swallow you whole. But as that molten metal cools, a shell forms not to trap you, but to protect the core of who you are becoming. A man who has endured his own storms learns to stop fearing the world's. Every hardship you have faced has done its part in shaping this unseen exoskeleton. The betrayals hardened your trust. The failures sharpened your focus. The long nights carved your patience. The disappointments strengthened your boundaries. Suffering is material, heavy, dense, often unwelcome, but when you finally understand how to shape it, it becomes the strongest armor you will ever wear. Most men break because they treat pain as a verdict. Warriors rise because they treat it as training. Musashi fought opponents who towered over him, men with superior skill, greater strength, more experience. But he walked into every confrontation carrying one advantage: a mind tempered by struggle. And it is this internal tempering that you are developing even now. Consider the moments when everything seemed to fall apart. When you felt exposed, fragile, unprepared. Those were not failures. They were forges. Every strike you endured hardened the steel of your resolve. Every setback pressured the weak parts of your identity until they cracked, not to destroy you, but to force you to rebuild them stronger. This is the essence of mental armor, the transformation of suffering into stability, a kind of solidity no one can see but everyone can feel. You become less reactive, more deliberate, harder to provoke, impossible to derail. The world may still try to wound you, but its blades no longer reach the core. The fragility you once carried begins to dissolve. In its place grows a quiet, powerful solidity, the armor of a spirit that has survived its making. Once armor forms, life does not congratulate you. It tests you. The world returns with old pressures, familiar conflicts, and new storms, checking whether the strength you built is real or imagined. This is the moment where transformation is proven, not in comfort, but in collision. You re-enter the battles of your daily life with a deeper quietness than before. Conversations that once provoked you now feel distant. Situations that used to overwhelm you no longer hold the same threat, not because the world changed, but because you did. Strength is revealed, not when everything goes well, but when everything fractures and you remain steady. Musashi understood this intimately. Every duel he survived was not validation of skill alone, but validation of the inner steel he carried. When blades clashed, his spirit did not flinch. His armor rang with each strike, a sound that confirmed resilience, not vulnerability. Your life will produce similar moments, not with swords, but with challenges designed to check your foundation. A setback at work, a betrayal from someone you trusted, a sudden failure that reopens old wounds. These are not regressions. They are confirmations. Pressure is not a sign you are unprepared. It is a sign you are ready. A man who has never been tested does not know the weight of his own armor. A man who has walked through suffering does. Musashi taught, perceive that which cannot be seen. The unseen truth is this: every new challenge is proof of your progress. Life does not test the fragile, it tests the rising. The deeper you grow, the harder the world pushes, not to break you, but to make sure you understand who you have become. When the world tests your armor, stand still. Listen to the ringing. That sound is your evolution speaking. There comes a morning after every cold night, when the horizon softens and the air shifts. The suffering that once felt endless begins to fade, but the strength you built in the dark does not fade with it. It stays. It becomes part of your posture, your decisions, your silence. The world will never fully understand the battles you fought, but you will feel their imprint in every calm breath you take. A tree shaped by relentless wind grows roots that grip the earth. With quiet certainty, it bends, but it does not break. You are that tree now, shaped by forces others never saw, strengthened in seasons they never noticed. Your pain was real, but so is the power it left behind. Modern men walk with invisible armor, discipline carved from hard choices, clarity won from confusion, patience earned from heartbreak. You carry these things now, even if you don't realize it yet. Suffering dissolves eventually, like snow melting under a rising sun. But what it builds, the endurance, the wisdom, the stability, becomes permanent. That is the paradox of pain. It ends, and its gifts remain. Musashi's path was never about escaping hardship. It was about transmuting it, turning every wound into wisdom, every trial into strength, every moment of despair into another layer of armor around the spirit. And now, as you stand at this point in your journey, you understand what few men ever learn. Suffering is temporary, but the warrior it creates is forever.